Hello, my name is Gracie Bethany, and this is my anthropology oracle demonstration. So the oracle I have chosen to demonstrate is the ancient Greeks' ritual of sacrificing animals in order to read the innards and smoke signals for messages from the gods. So the animal I am sacrificing is this pig. Typically, pigs in ancient Greece were some of the most expensive sacrificial animals. But the piglets were a lot less expensive and were more common to use. So just a little background. Typically a girl would not be doing this. It would normally be a man if there was a man in the household, but it's just me, so it's just gonna be me. I'm also wearing a very nice, I think it's a pretty nice dress. I'll show a picture. Because in ancient Greece, this would be a common event, but if it was a celebration or a big event, they would sacrifice a bigger animal or make it a bigger deal. So that's what I'm doing since I think this is a pretty big event, I don't know. So I'm gonna be sacrificing this pig, so that's basically it. Let's get into it. So we're gonna start by cutting off the pig's head. I'm not a psychopath, I swear, but this is how they would start, was by decapitating the pig. And this was typically done with an axe. I have an axe right there, but I just don't think that's gonna work on this. So they would start by doing this. And so the Greeks did this in order to communicate with the gods, right? But it's important that you chose the right animal. So I am sacrificing a pig. That means this pig is mostly associated with Demeter, Hestia, and Dionysus. So I would sacrifice to one of them. If I'd sacrificed this pig to a goddess like Athena or Aphrodite, I could be in their bad graces, and that could come off as an insult to them. So you want to make sure when sacrificing animals that you're sacrificing the animal to the right god or goddess. So now that this is done, then they'd take a slit through the stomach, and they would also eat the animals. So it's not like the animals just being sacrificed, it was also eaten as well. And so then when we come to this point, they would look around and they would look in the intestines to see if there were any clear signs. So if maybe some of the nerves looked like a sacred animal or sacred object of one of the gods, that would be a sign. There isn't much recorded evidence of any of the examples of this. The best one we have is in ancient texts and poems like the Odyssey and the Iliad. But yeah, so basically you just look around. This is my pig bucket to get all the pig blood. Typically they'd have a bowl to contain the blood, so we're just gonna put it in there. And then we have my axe for cutting up the animal, but sadly I'm not going to do that. This is everything they would have on a typical altar. We have some holy water and we have some barley. So it's called barley groat. So now I'm just looking in here. I'm looking for an answer. I'm not seeing any. While they were doing this, they would be praying to the god or goddess which they were sacrificing the animal to. I don't know if you could see it, but there's definitely fire here. It's like hot. They would burn the animal's fur. Now this pig doesn't really have that much fur, so I'm just gonna burn a little bit of its thing. Hopefully I don't catch anything on fire. I mean, well, it's gonna go on fire. It's supposed to burn. So I'm just gonna drop that in there. Hopefully it burns on fire. So we're just gonna let this heat up and wait for it to burn. I don't know what's going on with my fire. So now I'm just waiting for the skin for the fur to burn. It's looking like it's a little bit burnt, if you can see. This fire is gas, which I don't think they had back then, but I'm making do. So then they would put that in the fire, right? And so next what they would do is they would burn the innards. So I don't know if this is the best, but I'm just gonna drop it in there. See what happens. If it burns, it burns. So it'd burn, and while that was burning, they'd look at the smoke and they'd try to understand the smoke or read the smoke. And if they did this correctly, it was said that that an apparition of the god or goddess would show up to give them a definite answer on what they were praying about. Or a dove would fly by. If you're talking about Aphrodite, their sacred animal or sacred object would appear in the smoke. So, and while they were doing this, they'd say a prayer. So I'm just gonna say a prayer in my head really quick. And I'm not praying to the gods because I don't worship them, but I'll pray to my own God and see what happens. So yeah, that's basically what they would do. And then after they'd sacrificed a piece of the meat to the gods, then they would eat it. So I'm not going to eat the stuffing, but typically that's what would happen next. So yes, this was my oracle project. I hope you liked it, and thank you.